Welcome back to Webster Family Farm YouTube page. Today is chicken processing day, so all 50 some of these fat-breasted fellas over here are going to get processed. So I'm going to walk everybody through kind of what we do. There won't actually be any chickens being done during this video just because YouTube's not a huge fan of that, but at least it'll give you an idea of what we walk through. So somebody will come over here and they'll catch the chickens.
What type of chickens are those?
They're Cornish cross chickens, so they're bred to grow quickly. They grow to full size in 8 to 10 weeks. They haven't ate for 24 hours, so they're easier to process. As you can see, these birds have bigger breasts than your average, looking chicken. So this is kind of similar type breed that you would get from the store, but it's, as you can see, pasture raised and a lot better tasting than what you get from the store.
Yes, we do have water in there for them, so they're
the first thing is someone catches a chicken.
It's gonna be me, Farmer Laura.
Then we bring the chicken over here. We put it in upside down. As you can see, we've done this a few times and have a little bit of equipment that makes this a little easier. You don't have to have all this stuff to do it yourself at home. I would recommend you at least get the cone. It makes life a lot easier. You can put it on a tree. That's actually what we did for the first 2 years we did this. So here's where we dispatch the chicken. As you can see, we have the knives over there. So we're gonna cut the neck off of the chicken. It's going to bleed out. Once it's done bleeding out, we then bring it over here to the scalding pot. The scalding pot stays about 170, 160 degrees. We dip it in there. It's not like you shove it in there and you let it sit for 20 minutes or anything. It's just a couple of dips. A trick to do it is if the skin on the toes comes off or pluck a couple feathers, it means it's ready. So then after that, we come over here to the plucker. And what the plucker does is it makes it a lot easier than doing it by hand. So you drop the chicken in, put some water, it moves around like a washing machine.
These are like rubbery
Fingers.
Yeah.
And then it comes out with no feathers on it.
Where do the feathers go?
They come over here into this bucket, which has holes in it, so it drains out the water. Then that individual puts the plucked birds into these bins. Again, you don't have to do this part of it. You can just go straight to things. We've come to find out that there's a couple staging points that are helpful for us. So they come here. Then we come over to the cutting and evisceration stations. This is where the majority of the work happens. This is where we take the bird from being plucked to the different cuts. Like for example, today we're probably not going to do any whole birds, but we're going to do pieced out birds. So here there's two important knives to have. One is a pen knife. Sorry, that shouldn't be on there. This basically allows you to get in, get around the butt of the chicken. You have to, when you eviscerate, you're basically taking all the guts out the inside. This allows you to get around the butt and disconnect it from the body. Again, this is more for poking and doing real tight spaces. You would use this to eviscerate with. And then there's a boning knife. It's not a steak knife, it's not a fillet knife, it's a boning knife. It's semi-flexible, so you're able to get in there, and then you're actually able to cut up the chicken. So anybody who knows how to cut up a whole chicken will use that.
When you're doing this, do you wear things to keep it sanitary? What do you wear?
Well, we keep the table clean. As you can see, they're wet. They've been bleached twice already. First when we set up, and then this morning. So if like you puncture the gallbladder or different things like that, and get things other than blood on the table, we have a hose right there. If we get any of the green bile on the actual table, we stop what we're doing, We bleach everything down and then spray it back off. That way it keeps from contaminating stuff. The people over here don't touch anything other than what's over here.
What do they wear protective gear wise?
So we wear a cut glove on the opposite hand of what you cut with. So with me, that would be on my left hand. And then we put rubber gloves over those. You don't have to wear the cut glove, but I highly recommend it because these knives are really sharp, because the way you keep from hurting yourself is using a sharp knife, but everything's wet, slimy, you're doing all kinds of stuff. It's not normally cold because these birds are coming straight from being living. But you don't want to cut yourself. That's the last thing you want. You don't, because one, it contaminates the area, and two, it can make you sick. And plus you have a cut on your finger.
Well, what's these things in the background hanging over this right here? What are these?
Oh,
right
so those are aprons that we wear. It kind of keeps everything off your clothes. And
They're
stuff.
waterproof aprons.
Yeah, they're waterproof aprons, nothing special. So what we end up doing, so this time, because we're not doing actual whole chickens, we're doing parts. So as these people are cutting, they will fill these full of the different parts. All the crap we don't want goes into this bucket and we'll dump it later. Again, see, they're separate. One goes down, one stays up. So then after that, so these people stay over here and do this part of it. They won't do any other part of the process. If we switch or rotate, then we clean everything up. You change gloves and stuff like that. So then the meat that's in these buckets will come over here. And here is a bucket of vinegar and water. It's more than what you probably need, but I think you need at least a quarter of the bucket to be vinegar. I always go a little bit higher just to be safe, but you can look online.
What's the vinegar for?
It basically sanitizes everything and cleans. It's the last time the chicken gets cleaned before it gets packaged and then put on ice. So you dip everything in here in the vinegar bucket, then you come over to this clean water bucket and rinse everything off, dry it off. Then we come over here. So those bins and some bins that we're going to clean here before we get started will be sitting here. So the person who runs this area will be cleaning the meat, and then they'll be separating the meat. So they'll be separating the breast, the bone-in thighs, the legs, and then the wings from each other. And then what we do next is, depending on what size and package we get. Now again, you don't have to do this yourself. We do this because we do it a lot and it's a lot easier. They also make vacuum bags, especially like if you're doing whole chickens, that you basically just slide the whole thing in. You grab the top like that, you put a straw in, and you can dip it in water and it seals it. That's what we did the first couple times we did it. We do it enough, and especially because we do it by the cut, we decided that it would save a lot of time to get a commercial vacuum sealer. Again, this is a larger investment than most people need. So some of this stuff we're getting ready to do, you don't have to do if you're just going to do it for yourself. We do it because we sell the chicken to the public, and we're allowed to sell up to 2,000 chickens a year this way, as long as we follow standard cleanliness practices and stuff like that before we actually have to be certified. But then you can find these online, Laura, if you want to zoom in. A lot of places will make you a custom. Huh?
Cover our address.
Oh. A lot of places, well, it's a standard sticker.
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It's a standard sticker. It talks about how it's fresh poultry. It calls out the different exemptions like that there that allows you to do all the things you want, so people know that it's not from the store. All right. So we put that sticker on the back, but that's only if you want to sell your own stuff. So this is the vacuum sealer. It's a chamber sealer. So you put something in there, you tuck it underneath there, and you close it, and it does its thing. I'm not going to do it because there's nothing.
How long does it take to seal it?
With this particular one, you can set different stuff. Currently it's set on 20 seconds vacuum and 5 seconds seal, and then when it's done, it pops open, and then you've got a fresh bag of chicken that is sealed. Then we come over here, we put it on the scale, and this is when we put the sticker on it. Put the sticker, the weight, what it is, the date that we process, and then we toss it in the cooler.
Is there some place you put the chicken if we're kind of back up to store it while we're waiting to seal it?
No, not right now. That's kind of why it's important to figure out your process. So if you're doing this at home and it's just you and a couple people. Really pay attention to how fast you're going. The evisceration tables tend to take the longest just because there's a little more work and it's a little more fine-tuned. Plus, as people get better, they move quicker, but there's the most work there out of all of the process. So it's really important to kind of balance that out. If you're not doing by the cut and you're just doing it yourself and you're wanting to do stages, you can do that. Now this is our trash can we use for trash, but before we started doing the process that we do now, where we do it by the piece and we were doing whole birds, before this started getting used for trash and it was brand new, we would actually fill this full of ice water, and then you can just drop all the chickens in here as you get done. So again, a big thing to remember is once you actually dispatch the chicken, you need to keep it moving because you can't just have raw chickens sitting around. So again, this isn't a do all tell all type thing, but just kind of walking everybody through our process that we have here at Webster Family Farm. So again, thank you for following us. If you like this kind of comment, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.